it was not hard to convince someone to give us a black bra that they were gonna customize for us. As soon as we said we want a brown, minimum order quantities went from, oh, like you could buy like 20 bras to, oh, I'm gonna need you to order 2,000 if you wanna dye this a color that would be a nude for black and brown girls.
What? What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Dolapo. As Black women, we represent 42% of new women-owned businesses. That's 3 times our share of the female population. I want to shed light on this new generation of Black businesswomen and really dive into what it takes to build a brand. From early learnings to exploring how they face deep inequities in access to capital, and how they're ensuring their businesses will last for future generations.
Hi, my name is Akosua Opokua-Achampong and I'm the co-founder of the Perfitshop. Thank you so much for tuning into my episode.
This is Hustle and Glow.
So you know when you have those like backless dresses or those like beautiful deep cut V dresses, but by fire and force, they want to just show your tantala to everyone. I, as a literally what's my size? My size is a 32 triple D, sometimes E, yup. I have had relentless nights trying to keep up these things up and ready. So I can't be more thankful for the founders of Perfitshop. And I'm here with the co-founder, Akos, who is a great friend, first off, and an amazing, beautiful human being. You as a Ghanaian American, I can relate as a first generation kid too as well. Did you ever like dream of being an entrepreneur?
So, funny enough, I really fit into that super prevalent stereotype of you can be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. My parents had no problem because I wanted to be a doctor. And I was like, I'm gonna be a neurosurgeon. No. An obstetrician. So that's kind of what I started crafting all of my time around, like going to summer programs around medicine and all of that. And then I realized, you know what? The core of why I want to go into medicine is because of how much I love people, relate to people, and want to help. Like want to make an impact on an individual basis. And I was like, I do not have to go to school for 12 years to do that. So I took a step back and I was like, medicine is cool. I'm in love with all of the experiences that I'm having, but I think my talents may be served better elsewhere. But then I picked lawyer. So my parents were like, amazing. And then business owner kind of showed up and now I'm here. So.
And now you're here. I think like people think about it too much, but it's like you are somebody who is a slasher, which I feel like I've only been interviewing slashers, like everyone who's just been like this and that. And this kind of fell in your lap. Where did that idea come from and how did it manifest into what it is today?
I actually co-founded Perfit with Araba Manti, one of my best friends from college, and we're still really good friends to this day. And Perfit really emerged from being a mission-driven business. So like, yes, we're here to make money, but for us, it was finding the purpose that really drove us to begin. So we joked about what our flagship product is, right? The convertible sticky bra, when she used to wear something similar in college. She's a smaller chested woman. And so whenever she would wear it, we'd be like, yo, what is going on? She'd be like, I don't know, it's just a random bra. So she's in the financial sector. I'm working at like a startup kind of culture with the Fortune 1 backing, right? So working for Walmart and e-commerce. And we're like, we could do something for ourselves. Like, why don't we step up and do something? So that was in November of 2019 when we really started to get serious about putting something out there that reflected us and really had something to say beyond just trying to sell someone something.
What was the first thing that you had to do?
So once we kind of got each other hyped up, it was like, okay, how does it start? So I'm thinking, okay, in my 9-to-5 job, or they say it's a 9-to-5, but in my day job, this is what I'm doing. And it starts with product research and development. So it's great that we have this bra. Who can we find that's doing something like this that would be willing to take us on to make the changes that we think would actually make this a product that goes beyond what is already being sold and marketed. So for us, it really was function, right? How do we make this a 4-in-1 piece? And so talking to a lot of different manufacturers that we found through many different avenues, whether that be connections to other folks that are in fashion or looking, you know, online and using those kinds of resources. And we said, okay, we're settling between like 3 to 4 manufacturers and settled on one. And so once we decided, okay, this person can make the bra the way that we want it, how do we now get them to do more inclusive colors and sizes? It was not hard to convince someone to give us a black bra that they were gonna customize for us, or a beige nude that they were gonna customize for us. As soon as we said we want a brown, minimum order quantities went from, oh, like you could buy like 20 bras to, oh, I'm gonna need you to order 2,000 if you wanna dye this a color that would be a nude for black and brown girls.
What? Why do you think that is?
So because it's so much easier to produce for those you've already been centering your business around. Think about how now we're seeing all these ballerinas finally getting shoes in their skin shades and their tones, right? That was supposed to be a nude situation, but for years it wasn't created for them, so they just wore nudes that were for white women.
How did you negotiate to be where you're at right now?
So we actually had to go back and forth with manufacturers. They're like, look at this Pantone color wheel, like look at this, how are we gonna customize a color that you want? And so we did a lot of sample testing of, okay, this brown looks a little bit ashy.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a little bit warmer. We think that this is a good cocoa that for some women is gonna be a nude that looks like skin, but for other women that are still brown skin, but maybe not as cocoa as the bra is coming in, will still look amazing on them as well. So it was a lot of just trial and error between myself and Araba. Then we're saying, okay, we know why this bra works, but we also know that we want to expand beyond these things that we're doing. So we're like, okay, what are other pieces of intimates that we don't think are fully representative in shade diversity for brown and black women? And so that's when we said, okay, let's add tape and petals to what we're doing as well, because it was a little bit easier to get manufacturers to agree to extend that product line, because it was something that some folks were doing, so they weren't completely turned off by the idea of producing in those colors.
Okay.
And so that was amazing for us to be able to add to our product selection, because not everybody wants a bra or wears a bra, even if we've made it in a way that you can wear it 4 separate ways and very comfortably.
Yeah.
There are some other things that you might want to use as well.
What would be that one piece of advice that you would, give to people?
Listen to all of the folks who say don't go too big too soon.
Okay.
Unfortunately for Perfit, we didn't have a choice because we wanted to show up for black and brown women, so we had to go big on some of our first products. But in extending our lines, we're able to take a lot more care, time, and like have patience with the process. And so really just trust yourself. Test your samples. Make sure you know how your items are going to behave, or like how your service is going to work for someone before you just run to market with it. And believe in your ideas. It doesn't have to be that somebody's co-signing you. If you love it, create for yourself and other people will love it as well.
We understand that black women come into this industry as an entrepreneur. I'm talking about the entrepreneurial industry. They come into there with amazing products that change the lines.
Yeah.
But the problem is that we're finding is we don't go past the 5-year mark of being something that's a lasting brand, or what the industry marks as success. Why do you think your purpose-driven brand is really going to be something that like sticks with people?
So we're genuinely in it to represent. When we talk about what is the Perfitshop, what is the meaning of Perfit, for us, it really comes from centering those who've been on the margins, right? So what do we look at as fashion? So yes, we started with an intimates collection, but we're going to go so beyond bras, tapes, and petals. And I'm really excited for all of that to unfold in the coming years, but yeah. But ultimately, we're taking a look at the fact that we spend our dollars for a lot of businesses, and I think this was very much identified and highlighted by Pull Up for Change, right? We're spending our dollars with folks who have boards that do not reflect us, but they're selling to us. They're not centering the experiences of black and brown women. Statistics are even showing that Instagram feeds that were so diverse during this summer of 2020 are kind of regressing and going back to being less representative of people of color. And so we wanted to make sure that we were going to create for black women and brown women at the center of our business, though all are invited, and we hope that everyone loves our products. We're really centering the identities that we represent.
Why do you think there's deep inequities in terms of black women being able to reach capital to have lasting brands?
So I would say it's the reach that black women have, right? We, as you said earlier, set tones. We influence culture.
Yes.
And at the same time, people tell us we love that, but not on you. So So all of a sudden, you have Black women coming out with things that folks would rather buy from non-Black women, taking inspiration from Black women.
Wow.
And so we have ourselves, right? And we support ourselves, but it's really important to branch out to larger markets. And people are willing to buy things from folks that they can either recognize as long-lasting established brands, and we know the barriers to entry for, you know, what we're seeing as some of the biggest fashion houses that don't really represent Black women very fully or equitably. So now that's newer people. And if you don't look like me, if I don't feel like I can relate to your experiences, if I don't think you're creating for me, then maybe I'm not going to shop with you. And so it's really us wanting to expand beyond ourselves, but needing to find the acceptance to do so.
I am so proud of Perfitshop. I really see where you're taking this, and I'm excited to just be there to just watch it and witness it. So thank you so much. I am so happy that you're here with the Lowdown.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.